So what we've been talking about in this show so far, I'll catch up our YouTube segment viewers, is Trump's appearance at the World Economic Forum and all the related events, and it's all getting crazy. And something that Trump talks a lot lately about, is obsessed with, and is alienating our allies a bunch because of, is his obsession, by whatever means necessary, with obtaining Greenland. When asked, does that mean you would militarily invade Greenland, the territory of one of our allies, despite their opposition? His response is, stay tuned. And now he's specifying, all right, fine, I won't do that. And then, and I hate to say it, but other people said it, he's quote unquote bitching out. And that's good for the world, but it shows you how much he is unhinged. Because if the goal was never really, by whatever means necessary, if he never really believed what he was saying, then he did a lot of diplomatic damage to the U.S. and the trust we have on the world stage that people will remember. Also, he could have a meeting, which they already were open to from the beginning, about enhanced relations, maybe. But he's very vague. So I'll show you him coming out, I think, in a humiliating fashion, being like, well, we got a great deal. And they're like, oh my gosh, they gave you Greenland? He goes, literally, he's going to do that. But first, at his speech, he did specify, okay, we're not going to take it by force. Ugh.
We never asked for anything, and we never got anything. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force, where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that. Okay? Now everyone's saying, oh, good. That's probably the biggest statement I made, because people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force. All the United States is asking for is a place called Greenland.
So there, by the way, he gets the term correct, Greenland. As we reviewed already, multiple times throughout the speech, he called Greenland Iceland. And that does bring to my mind him walking into a room with a bunch of high up military leaders and going, do it, invade Iceland. And then being like, are you sure, sir? Yes, strike Iceland. And it's not even the correct one. Pretty wacky stuff. So then he comes out of a meeting and says a framework for a Greenland deal has been struck. Well, for all of his talk about how we cannot secure the United States if we don't fully own Greenland, you'd think he'd say we got permission to own, like we're going to annex it. They're giving it to us in a nice fruit basket. But no, that's not what he says. While you watch this, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate what we do. Very simple. Below the video, you'll see a button if you're not yet subscribed, and it'll still say subscribe. You click that, you make quite the difference in getting the word out about what we do.
Does it still include you? Does it still include the United States having ownership of Greenland like you've said you wanted?
It's a long-term deal. It's the ultimate long-term deal. And I think it puts everybody in a really good position, especially as it pertains to security and minerals and everything else.
This guy's standing like he's security. Surely we're not doing Timu's Secret Service now. Surely. Surely this is not Secret Service these days. No, I say with love. With love.
How long is it, Mr. President?
Have you already spoken to other European leaders?
Yes, I have.
How long would the deal be, Mr. President?
Infinite.
Will there is
no time limit. It's forever.
And how would you ratify the deal?
be money involved.
It's signed forever.
But you haven't signed anything yet, right?
It's a deal that's forever.
Will there be an effect anyway, Mr. President? Will there be an
No
effect?
money. People, what happens is people are out there and they're working it right now. They're working the details of the deal, but it's what's called an infinite deal. It's forever.
You talked about...
Yeah. No, I remember that whenever I was doing international relations studies in college, was what they call infinite deals, which means forever. He kept repeating that. So then he posted this based upon a very productive meeting that I had with the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte. We have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. The solution, if consummated, a weird choice of word. And it's even weirder because Mark Rutte is the one who calls Trump daddy, literally. Will be a great one for the
You're my daddy.
Oh, good. And now we get it. Oh, perfect timing. If consummated, will be a great one for the United Nations of America and all United States of America and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. I hate my life sometimes. Oh my gosh. We're doing this again? We're going to put in tariffs by this date. Never mind. Additional discussions are being held concerning the Golden Dome which is what I call my little Donnie, as it pertains to Greenland. We're going to consummate with the little dome on a big pile of ice. Further information will be made available as discussions progress. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and various others, as needed, will be responsible for the negotiations. They will report directly to me. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, what do you think? I'm predicting. I could be wrong, and I'll admit if I'm wrong. Maybe they are giving us Greenland without any military aggression. But what is most likely, almost certainly happening here? Further cooperation because they're our ally. Hey, that's what allies are for. So you don't have to threaten military aggression to get some help. And if Trump, we remember, already have military presence in Greenland. They already allow it. So we could say, could we expand it? Or could we do this with that? Or with the thing and with the dome? And you could have done all that without obliterating relationships and terrifying the world. So then you're thinking, gosh, Trump is acting like he got some big concession, which is the brilliance of Trump. Well, give us more specifics on this deal. We hear that it's infinite. We got that. We hear that in relation to us getting Greenland, the reaction is, it's a long deal. So no. What else do you know at this point, Donald?
I was going to ask you, did you see any of your European cohorts nodding? But I guess I don't have to ask that now because of the news that it breaks very quickly. Can you go into what you just talked about with the NATO meeting?
Well, we have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal.
Concepts of a deal. Just play
I have concepts of a plan.
And again.
I have concepts of a plan. 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 Concepts of a plan.
Thank you. He has concepts of a deal.
With the NATO meeting.
Well, we have a concept of a deal.
Very good. Very good. Unbelievable. So amid all of this dumb, I'm just reminding you, none of this is necessary. They act like the way Trump will behave on the world stage whenever allies do what they've been offering to do from the beginning, that's a massive concession and that he's a genius for this. No. And our word, as they've been specifying, and many of our allies have been taking very concrete moves to isolate a little bit from us, which will be harmful to us and will give us less power in future negotiations, that stands. And they trust us less. And that is a meaningful impact of something Trump never had to do to get whatever the deal is that he's saying. Now, if we do just get handed Greenland for free, I'll have to adjust my take. But this is the cycle we've been seeing over and over again. Tariff the whole world. Say it's because you're doing reciprocal tariffs. Countries go, dude, we've been saying we'll re-up a trade deal with you from the beginning. What is it that you want? You get some boilerplate trade agreement, and then you say, see, all of the insane tariffs were what caused this, even if it was something that was obviously on the table from the beginning. And amid all of that, there are still some people who go, you know what? I think Trump is doing just fine.
There's that saying, Trump was right about everything, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
He said he was going to cut your household electricity cost in half, ma'am. What?
How I'm feeling right now.
This breakfast conversation, our 6th visit with Betsy Sarcone, dating back to August 2023. Her shift beyond dramatic. A DeSantis, then a Haley voter, said she would vote for Joe Biden if Trump won the Republican nomination. But she changed her mind.
I think Biden probably changed me more than Trump. I think watching nothing be done, for 4 years about an open border.
Now she gives Trump an A-, loves the immigration crackdown, just closed a big real estate sale, and thinks the economy is picking up. Sarcone
and has some nasty pasta looking stuff.
Laughed at Trump's 2020 election fraud claims when we first met. Another big change.
I'm starting to question the election of 2020, right?
She lost it.
Okay, well, you're a little late to the party, okay? Because the loonies have been saying that for a while. So just get. No, actually, come here. No, get. You know what? Come here. I don't want to be mean, but it's funny at this late date to be like, maybe 2020 was, it's like, stop. Why would it not have actually been concretely proven then, given that Trump is the president now and he could have all of the resources he wants to go demonstrate that and he still can't?
Election in 2020.
I don't know.
He lost the election in 2020.
The suburbs revolted against Trump in his first midterm, and Democrats are banking on it again. But Republicans don't have to worry about Sarcone. She likes Congressman Nunn and loves that her daughters can use a school choice plan.
Oh, okay. Also a bad-looking waffle, Just none of the food seems to be nailing it, I hate to say. No, so here's the reason I play that for you. I am so sick of these segments. I love polls. Not perfect, but they survey a lot of people, and they say, here's through different methodology, our assessment within a few points margin of error, what a population in a certain area believes about this candidate or this issue. And it's like, good, you're asking it, but I'm not saying I don't want to hear from voters, I do. But the whole let's talk now to a regular person. What do you think? And they're like, I think Trump's great. And then you go, very notable. Not really. We know some people think that. And then you could do a segment of someone who doesn't. And it's like, but this person says they don't like him because of the tariffs. Yeah. I'm a regular person. What? It feels a little bit like such a wealthy company thing to do. To be like, so what do you think? Because it's not representative of anything. You can go to any place and find any person who believes anything and then do a story on them. What does that inform us? Why do I have to look at you, show me other people who are people? Instead of telling me what a bunch... I don't have the ability to go see what 5,000 voters believe about an issue. So that's really helpful. That's a really good service. But here's a look into what one Iowa voter believes. Makes you think. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But what do the regular people believe who live in normal houses? They make waffles themselves. Very strange. It's like we're out in the natural habitat of a suburban woman. Do you drink wine? Interesting. You don't. See, we're breaking stereotypes already. Wow. This is what's valuable. Polls. Scathing poll reveals huge... Now, you might be thinking, Luke, didn't you start your whole career going to Trump rallies? But I was never doing those segments to say, I wonder what the Iowa voters believe in general, representatively. I was saying, I went to a rally to find the cray-cray ones. Kind of. And it was representative of Trump's hardcore supporters. But even those segments, I would give the caveat, this is not representative of everybody. It's a different type of person who would go to a rally. And it was mostly about finding the views I found radical so that I could engage with them and see how they are engaged with. But I don't feel like I've ever done I went into a random... These segments, like on Fox News. We went into a random cafe in North Carolina. And these people love Trump. So it's okay. Well, I went to a cafe somewhere else and they loved Kamala. They had a drink called the Mamala Mocha, right? So what does that mean? That doesn't help me with anything. But this does. Scathing poll reveals huge majority think America's spiraling out of control under Trump. Half of Trump voters and conservatives said they think the country has gone off the rails. His own supporters are like, we're in, but man, this is out of control. That's a weird place to be in. Hey, I support him still, but he's sending us off the rails. And then there's specific 71% of people in this poll say the United States is out of control. True. And only 18% say it's under control. 18% of our country says things are under control. Other interesting numbers.
He also spoke about jobs, right? Well, John King was talking about the unemployment rate. Look, in January, it was 4.0%. By May, 4.2%. Now, the latest reading that was out earlier this week, 4.6%, the highest unemployment rate since 2021. Now, these are the measures of the economy, right? But how do Americans actually feel about it? And all I can say is they feel awfully about it.
We spoke to Ralph from Wyoming, who said that he loves the unemployment rate being at this place. So that should help you. Look at this guy. He lives in an apartment. Interesting. What is it like? Do you have bunk beds? Back to you, Caitlin. No, he actually got broader data.
Because take a look here. Percentage who say that we're on the right track when it comes to inflation. Just 20%, just 20% of Americans say we're on the right track. The vast majority of Americans think we're on the wrong track when it comes to inflation. What about jobs? Just 27% of Americans think we're on the right track when it comes to jobs in this country. So we're talking about under 30% on two key economic metrics. And then I'll leave you with this, Caitlin Collins, and that is Donald Trump's economic net approval rating. It is just flat out awful, and it has declined precipitously since the beginning of his second term in office. Look at this. Trump's net approval rating on the economy. In January, he was in positive territory at plus 6%. Way down he goes. Now, according to the latest Reuters Ipsos poll, he is 25 points underwater. Donald Trump was elected to fix the economy. It was a strength for him during his first term, but at this point, it is an anchor on him, and that is why we're seeing poll after poll after poll.
Wow, that is a crazy rapid swing, and that is notable. What was that lady's name? Person from Iowa? Her one story? Less notable. Those numbers, notable. And I have nothing against John King, by the way. I like that we're trying to hear from. It just feels very like, oh, I wonder what the people down there think. Interesting. As if we're not all people who know people who talk to people. Like, I know people in Iowa, probably. So I'll just ask them.